The Caitlin Clark injury return situation remains a cocktail of hopeful, frustrating, and confusing. The latest news, Clark doing full court drills with the team, looking good, running up and down the floor, getting shots up. But according to head coach Stephanie White, she has still not participated in practice or contact practice.
Pressure is mounting, time is vanishing, and Indiana Fever fans are caught in a heart-wrenching dilemma. Risk it all for a playoff miracle, or protect the future of the WNBA's most marketable rookie, Caitlin Clark. Her groin injury has already sidelined her for 19 straight games, but the team's postseason hopes are still alive? Barely. Now, with only 3 regular season games left, the organization is balancing on a razor's edge. Do they play it safe and bench their biggest star? Or roll the dice and unleash her, knowing one wrong move could destroy her career before it truly begins? Let's break it all down. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore, it's about power, money, legacy, and one of the most controversial decisions in modern WNBA history. Indiana is spiraling into a high-stakes identity crisis. After an entire season built around the hype of Caitlin Clark, the team suddenly finds itself without its headline act, and yet still in playoff contention. It's a bittersweet twist. They're good enough to fight, but are they strong enough to finish? Without Clark, the team is playing survival ball, and now there's this unbearable temptation to rush her back into uniform. Not because she's ready, but because they need her. Need her energy. Need her ticket sales. Need her name. This isn't about medical clearance anymore. It's about optics, narrative control, and financial leverage. That's where it gets reckless. A groin injury isn't just sore muscles. It's a ticking time bomb. One wrong pivot and her career trajectory could shift from GOAT level to injury-prone cautionary tale. Yet here we are discussing her possible return, not because it's smart, but because it sells. Indiana is gambling with house money, and Clark's body is the bet. Every time Coach Stephanie White utters the phrase, "That's the hope," it's code for "we have no idea." And fans keep clinging to it like gospel. These vague, PR sanitized statements about Clark's progress are more smokescreen than substance. Yes, she returned to shoot around. Yes, she did light drills, but the cold, hard truth is this: she hasn't done full contact work, and that alone should end the conversation. Yet it hasn't, because the organization knows that even a whisper of her return keeps people watching. It drives media clicks, it fuels TV ratings, it delays disappointment, but at what cost? By stringing along the maybe, Indiana is placing unnecessary pressure on Clark to deliver a miracle, on top of an injury. And if she caves to that pressure, if she suits up without being 100%, everyone involved becomes complicit in risking her long-term health for a few weeks of short-term gain. The narrative isn't will she return, it's why are they still pretending she might? When a Hall of Famer like Lisa Leslie sounds the alarm, you don't ignore it. You amplify it. Because she's not just speaking as a legend, she's speaking as someone who knows what it takes to survive the physical toll of a long basketball career. And when Leslie says, "That deep groin injury is nothing to play around with," she's not being dramatic. She's being brutally honest. Groin injuries are insidious. They're not like ankle sprains or sore wrists. They're slow to heal, tricky to rehab, and devastating when re-injured. They affect every move an elite guard like Caitlin Clark makes. Her first step, her acceleration, her ability to pivot, cut, drive, stop. Basically, everything that makes her great is compromised by this type of injury. And that's what makes the idea of a rushed return not just foolish, but dangerous. Clark hasn't played in 19 games. She hasn't taken contact. She's only recently returned to non-contact drills. That's a massive gap in real game intensity. Throwing her back into the fire with playoff stakes on the line isn't just risky, it's borderline negligent. And it's happening because the Fever and the league as a whole are desperate to maintain momentum. Leslie knows this. She's watched the league explode in popularity thanks to Clark's rise. but she's also watched athletes get destroyed by short-sighted decisions. Her warning wasn't just wise, it was a call to action. Protect the future or destroy it in pursuit of a headline. If Clark re-injures herself in these last 3 games, or in a rushed playoff run, the damage won't just be physical, it'll be reputational. Fans will question whether the WNBA and the Fever actually have her best interest at heart. And that's a scandal that could stain the league's golden era. Leslie's plea wasn't emotional, it was strategic. And ignoring it would be the league's biggest mistake yet. Here's the hard truth no one wants to say out loud. The Indiana Fever are playing some of their best team basketball without Caitlin Clark. Since her injury, players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston have stepped up in enormous ways. They've taken ownership of the floor, they've rallied, they've stayed in the playoff hunt, and that fact alone raises a brutal question. If the team is functional without her, then why risk bringing her back too soon? Because this isn't about performance, it's about presence. The Fever don't just want Caitlin's skill, they want her storyline. They want her jersey on camera, they want her face in interviews, they want the viral clips and media buzz that come with her stepping back onto the court, even if she's at 70%. And that exposes an ugly reality. They're willing to sacrifice the chemistry of a team that's been resilient without her just to inject a media frenzy. That's not strategy, that's exploitation. Think about the message it sends to the rest of the locker room. You grind all season, adapt in the face of injuries, step up when your star goes down, and then when the lights are bright, they rush her back because her brand is more valuable than your production. That's a slap in the face to players who've kept this team competitive when nobody expected it. And if Clark isn't fully healthy, it's a slap in the face to her too. Because now she's not just a player, she's a marketing ploy. The smarter move? Let the team ride. Let the players who got you here finish the journey. Lock in your playoff spot on their backs. And then when Clark is ready, medically, emotionally, physically, you bring her back for what really matters, the future. Because shoehorning her into a desperate playoff sprint that might only last a round is the kind of short-sighted thinking that kills careers and poisons locker rooms. And that's the real scandal brewing in Indiana. This goes way beyond the Fever. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's the single most influential player the WNBA has ever launched. She has redefined what's possible in terms of ratings, ticket sales, merchandise, and public attention. Her presence has been transformative, not just for Indiana, but for the entire league. And that's exactly why her potential return isn't just a team decision. It's a full-blown league crisis. Let's be real, the WNBA has never been this hot. Stadiums are filling, TV spots are expanding, brands are buying in. All of this didn't just happen by accident. It happened because Caitlin Clark captured the world's attention. And now, with her out of the spotlight, that momentum is wobbling. Executives are scared, sponsors are watching, networks are asking, when is Clark coming back? And the pressure to deliver an answer is falling directly on the shoulders of a young woman, with a torn-up groin and a target on her back. That pressure is toxic, because if Clark is rushed back and re-injures herself, the backlash won't just be toward the Fever, it'll slam the entire league. It'll expose how the business machine has commodified her body. It'll turn one of the most inspiring stories in sports into a tale of negligence. And worst of all, it'll destroy trust. Trust from fans. Trust from future players. Trust from parents whose daughters dream of playing in the W. So, where's the leadership? Where's the commissioner issuing a hardline statement protecting Clark's health above all else? Where's the union fighting back against this public flirtation with risk? Silence is complicity, and right now too many people are staying quiet because they love what Clark brings financially, not what she needs medically. This is the WNBA's defining moment. Not the playoffs, not the finals. This, right now. Choosing to protect its biggest star when it's least convenient. Because if the league can't stand by Clark when the money's on the line, it doesn't deserve her when she's back dropping 30 points a night. This is the reckoning, and how they handle it will define the league's legacy just as much as Caitlin Clark's.